What's up, nerds? Tony over here, Jerry over there, and them nerds are here tonight, very late, to talk to you about Loki, episode 2. Uh, Jerry, how did you enjoy the adventures of Mobius and Loki this evening?
I mean, I thought it was a good episode. It's obviously we're progressing to figure out what's going on for the rest of the season, so it's a little bit more of a storytelling rather than action packed. But it's still a great episode.
Right. A lot of exposition, as they call it in literature. Look out.
Okay.
Whatever stuff happened. All right, so let's talk about what stuff did happen. Uh, we start off with there's a variant who is Loki, allegedly, apparently, and Loki, Mobius, and the team are sent to a Renaissance fair to go and extract this individual, and it doesn't go so well, at least not for Loki and his plans to be tricky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They are going to go on a reconnaissance to try to find a missing team, and when they get there, they realize that one of their agents has been taken, and
Right.
then he tries to stall in order to get himself, a basically a plea deal, I guess you would say.
Yeah. He makes it sound like, oh, I know exactly what's happening, but he doesn't. He's whatever. At least you never know with him. He could be onto something, or he could just be making something up. And later on in the episode, he says that he was doing it on purpose. Who knows with this guy, right?
Yeah.
So
Trickster.
he's a trickster. He's just tricky. We got a lot of great interactions. We had a lot of funny kind of interactions on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We had a lot of buddy cop moments, and I feel like we're going to get a ton of that on this show, not only between Mobius and Loki, but also between Loki and um, Hunter B-15.
Yeah.
Their interactions are hilarious. I enjoy them a lot.
Yeah.
So tell me how this is going to play out. Where Loki is playing the good Boy Scout. He's going along with Mobius, and you think he's on the up and up here. You think he's got ulterior motives. I mean, he's Loki.
I think his alternative motive is just to try to figure out a way that at the end of this he doesn't end up, erased. So he's trying to figure out what the other variant is doing to also figure out his escape in the end, I think.
Right. And he does figure out what's going on with the variant, where this variant is, and what this variant is doing. And my background is the city of Pompeii in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, because Loki figures out that this variant Loki is hiding in major disasters, apocalyptic, world-ending disasters, right? Because he can do whatever he wants, and it doesn't matter. The timeline gets erased anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a great scene where Mobius and Loki go to Pompeii, and Loki's letting goats loose and yelling in Latin.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. On a side note, I enjoyed that he said dark tidings. Reminded me of What We Do in the Shadows. But anyway, so they discover that, and then we end up getting to the main scene, the big like climactic scene in this. I don't even know how to explain it. Futuristic Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, who ever thought you'd hear that? But this idea that they just need to track down a future event that also plays into what happened in the first episode with that pack of candy.
Right. Yeah. So they cross-referenced apocalyptic events with that kablooey gum that we got in the last episode to determine a specific period of time where this Loki variant must be hiding.
Yeah.
Right. So this variant, first of all, I thought it was kind of cool how they, of course, I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the comments that argues this point, but I thought it was kind of a cool approach to talk about all the apocalyptic events that happen like in the next like 20 or 30 years that have to do with like climate and disease and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we get a hurricane. That's what's happening in this one. And we go to this giant rocks cart, which I assume is tied to Roxxon
Yeah,
in some way, shape, or form, right? It's just a big ass Walmart, right?
yeah.
So, it's in Alabama, so that makes even more sense. So what are we seeing this hooded Loki doing around this big ass Walmart?
He's using those charges to go ahead and he's placed them about the store, but he's also using his glimmer, I believe that's what they call it, or glimmer or shimmer or something like that, power to control different people within the store to uh, kind of progress the story, but without having to reveal himself.
Right, kind of like sending his consciousness into other people.
Yeah, I think it's called a glimmer, but I'm not sure if that's what I would have.
Glamour.
Glamour, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Glimmer. Yeah, I don't got that
Whatever.
power.
It's magic.
Yeah.
Yes. So we get through all these little instances of the variant Loki jumping, shifting into other people, and then we get the big for this episode at least, the big reveal, and it is
Lady Loki.
Lady Loki, played by Sophia DiMartino. We kind of knew this was coming. We knew about this casting. We knew that Lady Loki was going to be around, but now we get it.
Yeah, she kind of gives a little bit of a clue that first off, she claims that if anybody is the copy, he's the copy,
Right,
and also that this has nothing to do with him. So
right. The thing that is exciting to me about this is, I'm telling you, maybe I'm going at this the wrong way. The TVA is all about like, oh, you did something in time that you weren't supposed to do and it messed things up. So now that version of you needs to go away. Well, Loki being portrayed as female doesn't seem like, oh, I did something weird in the timeline and I need to be erased. This seems like a multiverse thing.
it could be, but then also it did when he originally gets arrested in the first episode, they show his card and it puts down his gender as fluid.
Right.
So, but also during that clip, they talk about when they talk about the variants. One thing that they talk about is the heads always being different, like basically being like you don't always get the exact copy.
Right.
So, which actually made me think of the idea that if we're all these Disney Plus shows are kind of connected and leading us in a way to the future of the MCU. One thing we know that for sure is that in WandaVision, you had Boner, or as we all know him, Quicksilver from Fox, and he's brought in filling that role of Quicksilver from the MCU. Well, he's not the exact copy of what we got, and that was caused by a Nexus event.
Right. Right. Which was mentioned more than once in this episode, the idea of Nexus events.
Yeah.
Right. Which, um, you know, we've already heard the idea of Nexus, the Nexus being mentioned, and we've talked on our show here before about Nexus beings. And they keep showing these timekeepers, and you mentioned this last time. They look an awful lot like Kang.
Yeah.
And Kang is one of those Nexus beings. So it makes you wonder if he's
What
going
did
to
you
play a
think?
part.
What did you think the pen meant?
I wasn't sure. It
Yeah,
said
Franklin D.
Franklin.
Roosevelt High School.
Yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt High School. And I'm gonna have to look back. We're doing this show, right on the fly, right after we just finished watching Loki. Um, I'm gonna have to go back and do a little research on that, but it has to mean something
Yeah, because he points it
because
out.
they focus on it, right? And especially they focus on it during Mobius's conversation with Ravonna Renslayer about your other agents or whatever. So I don't know.
Once again, we have a agent that we don't see, but we just talk about.
It's Mephisto.
Yeah, it's Beast.
It's Blue Marvel. Confirmed.
But the way that we see what happens at the very end of it, basically Lady Loki has started to create ultimate or infinite branches all being created all at once. And how do you stop them? this is a great way for all these properties that we've been waiting for to be introduced into the MCU to be introduced in. Not only that, but you know that for a fact that we've heard these rumors about the Spider-Man movies having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and all these people inside there that are being brought in. It could be caused by these branches breaking down the world that we know, and then also the X-Men, Fantastic Four. So
yeah, that would be a great way to at least give a nod to those properties. Seems like we're constantly talking about how to bring these other things in, but I mean, that's what we want, as lifelong fans, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting to see the whole complete Marvel universe as a cohesive continuity. So if it takes Lady Loki dropping time bombs in a big ass Walmart to bring me some X-Men, then cool.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Might be the first one dropping bombs in a Walmart.
I'm gonna have to tell you a story off the air. People in this town. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is this going to be a multiverse thing, or are we strictly dealing with time and variance within the timelines? I'm gonna stick to it. This is my Mephisto Blue Marvel hill to die on. This is going to bring us into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is going to bring in multiversal things. That's my guess. I don't know. Any final thoughts on episode 2 of Loki?
No, I think we're just gonna have to, this show I think is doing a better job. Well, this is similar to how WandaVision was, where the first 2 episodes you watched, you really still didn't have an idea what was going on. Right. So I'm sure that by next week we're gonna start seeing what's actually, where this is all leading.
Right, and you mentioned in the first episode. In the first episode, we got this idea that Loki was going to be like a reluctant kind of helper, right? In this episode, it seemed like he was almost, other than the beginning, eager to help, like he wanted to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
So, and then at the end of this episode, Lady Loki goes through one of the time doors, and then our Loki, Tom Hiddleston Loki, follows her through the door, leaving behind Mobius and Hunter B-15 and the rest of the crew. And so now we look into episode 3 and we have to decide, is Loki going to be doing things for Loki, or is Loki going to still be like on the hunt, like as if he's a TVA agent? I don't know, but we're not going to know until the last episode.
Probably.
Not that we have to wait that long, right? There's how many episodes on this?
6 episodes. We have 4 episodes left.
So we're a third of the way through this show already.
Yeah.
I just figured out how to set up my green screen in this room. Third of the way through. Anyway. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're loving this show. Quick reminder, next week's show is going to be coming to you from Anaheim. We're going to be in Disneyland. Yes. And we're also going to have some super cool content about our time at Disneyland. Check out some of the Star Wars stuff. I don't know if we're going to be able to check out the Marvel stuff, but we're sure as hell going to try. And we will be talking to you guys all about our Disney adventures here on Them Nerds. Don't forget to follow us on social media at We Them Nerds on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out our other videos at youtube.com/themnerds on YouTube. And that's it from us. Be good. Be good to each other.
Stay nerdy.
Later, nerds.
Later.